everybody, it's Harvard lawyer Lee. Today we got huge news that Elon Musk and Twitter have announced a deal for Elon Musk to buy Twitter for a package worth $44 billion and take the company private. Now that the company is going to be private, does that mean Twitter will be able to ignore the First Amendment and censor people? It's a trick question, actually. Believe it or not, you never had First Amendment rights on Twitter. The First Amendment applies to the government and prohibits the government from abridging free speech. People have argued that the First Amendment ought to apply to social media giants like YouTube and Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Snapchat, all of those. People argued that those forums are so big and so important that if free speech does not exist on those forums, it does not exist anywhere in real terms. But so far, the courts have refused to bite, and with good reason. They point to the wording of the First Amendment, and here's what it says. Congress shall make no law. I'll skip the part about freedom of religion because we're talking about freedom of speech. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech or the press. Notice all it says is that Congress is not going to make a law that prevents you from having free speech. It doesn't talk about private companies, even gigantic ones like Walmart, just Congress. So in 2019, the Supreme Court held that Time Warner's cable system in Manhattan was not a state actor, and it didn't have to apply the First Amendment. The next year, the Ninth Circuit made the same ruling about YouTube. So even though Twitter is currently publicly traded on a stock exchange, it does not have to apply the First Amendment to how it treats its users. It's not part of the government, even though it is publicly traded. Now, that's not going to change when Elon Musk buys it and takes it private. Taking Twitter private will not mean that the First Amendment stops applying because the First Amendment never did apply. In the end, we as consumers only have two real protections. The first is we need a lot of forums to choose from. That way, if one discriminates against a certain viewpoint, we have plenty more to choose from. And secondly, we as consumers have to demand that the companies be fundamentally committed to free speech. That's what Elon Musk says he's doing, is making sure the company is fundamentally committed to free speech. He's invited anyone who has opposed him in the past to come and post on Twitter, says he won't censor them. Good for him, and let's hold him to it. Thanks. I'm Harvard lawyer Lee. I appreciate your stopping in from the video. Please like the video, subscribe, and I will look forward to seeing you in the next video.